Chapter 4 Kenny and Sarah's First Visit. Snugglewumps. Kenny fell asleep, surrounded by armfuls of stuffed toy animals that he had acquired over the years. He would often make a nest for himself so that he was surrounded on all sides by the animals. They made him feel safe and warm. He would often dream about his toys and would go on adventures with them. Kenny was startled from his sleep and sat up. He tried rubbing the sleep from his eyes, but could only just about manage to open them. He thought he saw the shapes of some of his stuffed toys, but they were humongous. They towered over him like mountains. There was Crunchy the shark, Bear, and they were all so dark. He looked around and saw two large yellow eyes staring at him. "Ah!" Kenny yelled, scrambling to his feet. He realized the toys weren't toys at all. They were actual mountains. The yellow eyes moved closer, ever so slowly. He thought he saw someone sitting on top of the yellow eyes. "Stay back!" Kenny shouted, looking for something like a stick or something to fend off the eyes. "Hey, what are you doing here?" a voice came back. "Sarah?" asked Kenny. "Kenny?" Kenny reached into his pocket and found a torch. Oh yeah. He remembered he had put a torch in his pocket last night before he went to bed, in case he needed to get up in the middle of the night. He shone it towards the eyes and the voice. "What the?" he exclaimed. Sarah was sitting on the back of a large fluffy creature. Its face was flat, as though it had run into something. Its yellow eyes were round and large like big dinner plates. It had fluffy whiskers that framed its droopy mouth, and a droopy tongue that lolled out of it. Its ears were also droopy, but moved about depending on the noises in the distance. It snorted and the ground shook. Its fur was thick and looked soft. Its body was long and fat, with his belly almost scraping along the floor. Its 6 legs were short and stubby and looked just strong enough to support its weight. "What's that?" Kenny asked. "It's a snugglewump," Sarah pronounced proudly. "And how do you know that?" Kenny asked. "Because he's so cute," she said, ruffling the fur on top of its head and giving him a big cuddle. "And there was a sign." "A sign?" Kenny asked, still confused. "Yeah, just over there," Sarah said, pointing back to where she had come from. "It said, 'Beware of snugglewumps.' Then this cute thing came out of the bushes." "Where are we? And how long have you been here?" Kenny asked, looking around and shining his torch. There were rocks and a few trees scattered around. The mountains were in the background. "I think we're..." began Sarah as she looked around. She hadn't actually stopped to think where she might be. She was so focused on the giant creature that she was now sitting on that she hadn't stopped to think about anything else. I don't know where we are," she said nervously, grabbing a hold of the snugglewump's neck a little tighter. "Don't worry," Kenny said reassuringly, looking around at the mountains. "Come on, let's go this way," he continued, pointing to a clearing in the trees where it looked as though there was a path. Kenny started walking, and Sarah followed, sat on the back of the snugglewump, who seemed to have taken a liking to them both. As they got closer, the trees started rustling and shaking. "Uh-oh!" Sarah exclaimed. "It's the rest of the snugglewumps! They must think we're trying to take this one! Hurry!" she shouted as they doubled back, moving as quickly as possible. 20 or more snugglewumps came charging out of the trees and the undergrowth. They were all shapes and sizes, some young and some old. Some of them snarled and others just followed. They may look like lazy creatures, but they sure could move. Kenny and Sarah soon found themselves trapped in an area with flat rocks that went 100 feet straight up into the air. Sarah jumped off the snugglewump, who began bellowing at the others, trying to fend them off from Sarah and Kenny. There was a screech from the sky, razor-sharp talons flashed, and there was a swoosh of an orange body followed by gold and white feathers. The flying creature landed and flicked its orange-scaled tail that was covered in black spots, and screeched again. Kenny shone his flashlight and saw Simon. "Simon?" he shouted. "Simon!" Sarah echoed excitedly. Simon looked down at both of them and then out towards the animals that were all around. More of them were emerging from the trees and the mountains and surrounding them. "Quick, get on!" Simon said to both of them, extending his left hand to help them. As Sarah reached up, there was a flash of blinding light and the whole ground shook. Silence descended and everyone froze.